All right, so now we're gonna go over our Farside armbar from the knee on belly. And again, the knee on belly opens your partner up sometimes because it's uncomfortable. They start moving, they start panicking. And this is the perfect example of that, okay? So when I put this knee on belly over here, a lot of times my partner's gonna look to push this knee off. He's not comfortable with it there. And if he uses his hand, that's actually a kind of a mistake because he gives up this gap over here, almost like a shallow underhook that what we're gonna see. You know, if you used his forearm, that'd be a little bit smarter from Ivan over here, but we'll talk about that another day. So when I'm here in this position, I see that gap, what I'm gonna look to do is I dig my underhook in and I pull it up into me. So I use my elbow and I pull it up into me and I glue my chest to his tricep, to this tricep over here, and my hand, and I crunch. So I have like a shallow underhook. So I'm not deep like this, okay? I'm shallow with my elbow tucked in. So I have that shallow underhook. And now, pretty much all I'm gonna look to do is spin around to the other side. Now there's a bunch of ways that you can get to the other side. You can step over, you can scoop under it, but for fundamentals, we're just gonna do a simple step over. So if I need to, I can push his head, or I can put my hand on the ground, whichever's comfortable. Then I take a step over, and I sit down on the other side. Notice this knee faces up towards the ceiling. I'm not opening this knee. There's no control over here. Keep it tight to the arm that I want. And then from this position, I have my hand that's gonna either change to my thigh or my collar and start to come back with the arm, and I use my elbow up to the ceiling. See how that extends the arm? Now I shake hands with the thumb as always, and then there's that pushing hand, pulling and pushing hand, and I go to the finish. At any point, if I felt comfortable to pass the leg over, yes, I could have done that and went to more traditional finish. But again, this finish works just as well, especially for fundamentals, okay? So again, this time I'll do the other side. So yes, let's do that angle, it looks great. So I'm here with Ivan. Again, there's that knee on belly. He gives me that reaction. Knife hand comes in. I bring the shallow underhook to me, crunching my elbow, crunching his arm in between. I can push the head down, or I can put this hand over here, whatever I prefer. And then I take a step over, and I sit down. Once I sit down, I control my thigh. Notice how that elbow is extending his arm, so my elbow comes to the ceiling. As he goes to try to turn his arm or something like that, it's difficult. Shake hands with that thumb. If I felt there was a timing to pass the leg over, I can. And one more time, we're back on our armbar finish over there. The last thing that I'll say is if, let's hop to the other side, please. Do you mind? If you want to stay low, so don't come up out of this stance. You want to stay low when you step over, or when you kind of pivot over, kind of shovel yourself underneath. If your partner connects his hands like Ivan did, which is, you know, a common situation over here, what we want to do is kind of be patient over here. Use our hand on the ground, use our elbow on the ground, and sit on this hip a little bit. And the two things I'm looking for is if Ivan tries to come on top to stack me, I use this hamstring over here to keep him down. So maybe we can use this angle. Yes. So as he goes to come on top, I use this hamstring to keep him down. I stay on my hip, okay? And I never let him get on top. And then I'm looking for the timing. This hand is gonna go on my thigh. My elbow is working against his grip. You can see his grip's even getting stretched out like this. I'm looking for a timing to use that south leg, and I'm just gonna stomp and kick it off. And then from here, I go back to my finish. And that's like a basic beginner way on how we can deal with our partner, locking hands over here. You know, if we get stuck, if my partner does manage to grab his hand. Okay, and that's our Farside armbar from knee on belly.